Children who play with traditional toys show higher quality and quantity of language than children who play with electronic toys. Stanford University found that physical movement boosts creative thinking by 60%, and the American Academy of Pediatrics actually shared a clinical report of this very fact that I have just shared with you. And yet the average Indian household is buying more screen-connected toys and fewer open-ended ones every year. Everyone who knows me, this is Mansi, I'm a conscious parenting coach, and I spent 3 weeks reviewing research from the AAP, Stanford, Frontiers in Psychology, and testing games with my own kids and many more. Here are 5 age by age that are backed by science and easily available on Amazon India right now. Stay till the very end because I'm going to tell you which games made it to part 2 on this list, and some of them genuinely surprised me. But before the recommendations, here's how I filtered every single game, and whichever recommendation that you guys actually watch is very important that you go through the criteria that they actually follow. Here are 3 filters that we actually adopted. Filter 1, does it challenge their brain or just keep them busy? A 2024 study published in Frontiers of Psychology found that children who play with real physical toys that have significantly fewer tantrums when screens are turned off. The toy itself becomes their regulation muscle and builds that regulation muscle. Number 2, what happens when they fail at it? The AAP's play report, reaffirmed in January 2025, says that play literally builds executive function, the brain's ability to plan, focus, manage emotions, but only if the play includes some sort of challenge and failure. Easy toys teach nothing. Number 3, do you want to play it? Research shows consistently that the caregiver and child play together produces better development outcomes than solo play. If the game bores you, you won't sit with them and your presence is half the benefit. Those 3 filters, everything I'm about to recommend passed all these 3 tests. So now let's go age by age. Age 2, here's a stat from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child that might stop you. A toddler's brain forms more than 1 million new neural connections every single second. Every second. What you put in their hands right now isn't just play, it's architecture. You're literally building their brain. And Stanford's research on movement and creativity tells us that physical, tactile interaction, not passive screen watching, is what drives cognitive development. Most parents buy standard wooden blocks. They're fine, but there's something better. The Smart Max My First Magnetic Animals, oversized magnetic bars, chunky sensory pieces. Your toddler isn't just matching a horse's head to its tail, they're feeling tactile resistance, building hand strength, experimenting with what holds and what doesn't. But here's the conscious parenting moment I want you to catch. When your 2-year-old actually puts a lion's head on an elephant's body, don't correct them. Seriously, just don't. Let them laugh. Let them create something really absurd, because it's in that moment their brain is learning experimentation is safe. Being wrong can be funny and it doesn't need to be shameful. Play doesn't have rules. As a conscious parenting coach, I'll tell you that single shift of letting them be wrong without correcting them builds more creative confidence than any toy in the market. Age 4, big emotions, short fuse, tower falls. And here's what research says that most parents don't know. The Frontiers in Psychology study I mentioned earlier found something remarkable. Children who regularly play with physical, tactile toys develop better emotional regulation than children who primarily use screens. The study conducted that play with real toys acts as a quote, universal way of coping with frustration and anger in childhood. The toy is their therapy. Shumi's wooden balancing monkeys, Indian brand, non-toxic, under 500 rupees. You hook and stick tiny wooden monkeys without the chain collapsing. For a 4-year-old, this requires fine motor control, hand-eye coordination, and here's the one part that nobody talks about: breath control. They literally slow their breathing to keep their hands steady. That's a regulation skill disguised as a game. Now, when the monkeys fall, and they will watch your reaction, not theirs, yours. If you gasp or look stressed, your child copies their anxiety. They learn failure makes the adults around me uncomfortable. Instead, smile. Breathe. Say, oh, they tumbled. That's okay. Let's try again. A 400 rupee wooden toy, wiring their brain to handle failure calmly. That's conscious parenting. That's the science. Same thing. At age 6, the AAP's clinical report, The Power of Play, reaffirmed just last year, that is in 2025, found something powerful. Children who were in active, challenging play for 1 hour per day were measurably better at creative thinking and multitasking. Randomized trials of about 7 to 9-year-olds showed enhanced cognitive flexibility and brain functioning. 1 hour of the right kind of play. That's really all it takes. Drop the board games wherever everything relies on a dice roll. Luck isn't a skill, strategy is. Smart Games Camelot Jr., a 3D wooden puzzle, arrange the blocks to create a path for the knight to reach the princess. 48 challenges from easy to expert. My kids used to get stuck and their immediate reaction was always, "Mama, do it for me." And my rule was, I never touched the blocks. If your kids get stuck and their immediate reaction is, "Mama, can you please do it for me?" my rule would be not to touch the blocks. Ask what happens if you flip this upside down. Try starting from the other side. Force their brain to work because the AAP is clear on this. It's not the toy that builds cognition. It's the struggle, the resilience to keep doing it again and again and again after it falls, the productive frustration, the moment they almost want to quit but they don't, and the look on their face when they solve it alone, that pride. You cannot buy that. But you can create the conditions for it by stepping back. Age 8, here's something that research tells us that goes against the very instinct we have as Indian parents. We think competition builds resilience. We are 1 in 1.4 billion. But a 20-year meta-analysis of play interventions published in the International Journal of Environmental Research found that cooperative games where children work together build stronger social emotional skills, better conflict resolution, and higher empathy than competitive play. Your 8-year-old gets plenty of competition at school. What they're not getting is structured cooperation. Outfoxed, a cooperative detective game, a foxy thieves steals a pot pie. All players work together, gathering clues, decoding, eliminating suspects. If one wins, everyone wins. If the fox escapes, everyone loses. Zero sore losers. Zero ego battles. Your child has to listen to someone else's logic, negotiate strategy, accept the collaboration beats going solo. When was the last time your child practiced that skill anywhere else? School doesn't teach it, tuitions don't teach it, a board game does it just in 20 minutes. If your child is age 10, reclaiming attention. Age 10, the hardest age to win because you're not competing with toys anymore. You're competing with the iPad. You're competing with screens. And here's what science says. A systematic review of 158 studies published in the Frontiers in Developmental Psychology found that excessive time on screens in early childhood is associated with difficulties in executive functioning, attention, learning, and the effects compound over a period of time. But here's what Stanford's creativity researchers tell us. The answer isn't removing the screen, but it's about making it more interesting than the screen. Stanford also found that when you give people the freedom to move, to think, to engage physically, creative output jumps by over 60%. Your 10-year-old's brain is craving that kind of engagement. A strategy game gives it to them. Splendor is a fabulous strategy game. Renaissance Merchant, Gemstone Mines, Trade Route, Prestigious Points. Zero luck, pure strategy. Your 10-year-old has to think 3 moves ahead and manage resources. But here's the real reason this game is on my list, and it has nothing to do with cognitive development. At 10, your child is pulling away from you. The conversations are getting shorter, the doors are closing more often. You feel like I'm being left around and somebody else is being prioritized. Sitting down for just 30 minutes of Splendor gives you something no lecture, no punishment, and no screen time will ever give. A neutral, high connection space where you're not their parent telling them what to do. You all are 2 players, matching wits. As a conscious parenting coach, I'll tell you a connection is the single most protective factor in a child's development. Not a curriculum, not activities, just connection. And this game creates 30 minutes of it. All the 5 games are linked in the description box below. All are available on Amazon India. But remember, the game isn't the point, the moment is. When the monkeys fall, breathe instead of gasp. That's the point. When they solve the puzzle without your help, that's the point. When your 10-year-old sits with you for 30 minutes without a screen, that's the point. The American Academy of Pediatrics doesn't prescribe medicine for development, they prescribe play. Literally prescribe play is their clinical guidance. Now there are 5 more games that didn't make it to this, including one cooperative game that actually made my 8-year-old cry in a good way, and a card game that is better than any screen for long car rides. But that's part 2 coming up next week. Comment below which age are you navigating right now? Any favorite games or toys that you would like to add? I am listening.
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.